Okay, back at it. The leadership and training program is one of my areas of responsibility. This is the first time I am doing it. Previously, it was managed by Andrea McGovern, who is now working for LARPD, and she's doing really well over there. So the leadership and training program hasn't been available since 2019, but we are starting it up again and getting it off the ground. We don't have as many programs as we used to do pre-pandemic, but hopefully those programs that are not participating this summer will participating in the summer of 2023. Okay, so essentially this meeting is going to go over our program areas that we are hosting LITs. You're going to be able to meet me, the person that kind of oversees the grand scheme of the LIT program, and then we'll open it up for some questions at the end. And so let's get started. Okay. Okay, so the LIT program goals is, of course, first and foremost, giving back to the community. It is a volunteer experience, and the POSD district has allowed their service hours with the City of Pleasanton in the LIT program to count for the school required volunteer hours or service hours. Through this LIT program, the participants, should they be accepted, will gain valuable experience through working independently. And by working independently, that doesn't mean that they'll be working alone. They'll just have the autonomy to hone in on their skills within the program, where there are rec leaders, 1 and 2 lead staff, and the occasional parents from the coordinators like myself in the LIT program. They'll work on the character traits of responsibility and their volunteerism with their community. Also, this program does help them better situate for a future employment period, as well as the City of Pleasanton's recreation leader opportunities that we have throughout the city year-round, and mostly during the summertime as well. I am a former LIT myself, and here I am as a recreation coordinator 10 years later. Okay, so the interview process, if you have not been made aware yet, it is on our Better Impact page. We are asking the LITs to call and inquire about the experiencing they could receive. And this is to get them into the practice of engaging within a potential employer or organization, really starting that line of communication with them, as well as having them understand what the expectation for the LIT program is. We are also asking them to upload a 1 to 3 minute video addressing some of the questions like who they are, why they're interested, what they expect to gain out of the program. And we are also asking them to—
Alexa, turn off music. Can't hear me. Okay. Sorry.
We are also asking them to— Thank you. We're also asking them to fill out the application. And that application is on our city webpage. I'll also drop it in the chat once I'm done here. And if they have any hardship whatsoever, they're more than welcome to contact me. And my information is, my contact email and my phone number is on the Better Impact webpage, but I'll also leave it here in the chat. And okay. Can everyone still see my screen? No, no one can see my screen. I'm not sharing it. Alrighty. Okay. There we are. Okie dokie. So now let's get into our program areas. And the program areas are the areas that are accepting LITs to participate. We do have our art camps. The art camps are conducted by one of our contractors. Her name is Debbie Wardrobe, and she does one of our many art classes within the city of Pleasanton. The schedule that they can expect to participate in is either a half-day camp or a full-day camp. And the weeks for art camp are the week of June 20th, July 11th, and July 25th. She is asking for LITs. They need not to have any art skills. They must be interested in working with youth, like all of our LITs are asked to do. And they also are asked to work independently. And in the art program, that's taking direction and being able to work with a group of kids in the same space that Debbie is in as well. So Debbie's working with one group or helping prepare other activities. And that leader in the art camp is hosting the activity by themselves with the kids, of course, with the supervision of our contractor, Debbie. The person screening any questions about this art camp is Kara Yost, one of our recreation coordinators who's responsible for our recreation contractors. All right, summer and drama camps. The LITs here will be working closely with the production director. Volunteers will be working and shadowing the director of the production so they can see the thought process that goes into creating the show, as well as how they manage other members of the creative team and the cast of the show. They'll also be called over to the technical theater side where they'll be delivering the creative vision of the director to the technical staff and assisting in technical staff duties. So things such as lighting, dancing, like those are the technical things that when we imagine technical duties, it's less about like technology, but more about different types of things that happen in the production of our drama performances. So the LITs, the drama camps can only accommodate one LIT per shift, and there's only 2 shifts. So it's kind of competitive if you're interested in participating as an LIT in the summer drama camps. So there is an AM shift and a PM shift, and each of those shifts have their own production. So there's certain set of campers that'll be in the morning production. They have their own performance dates, and the afternoon camp or production have their own performance dates as well. 1 LIT per shift. There's not 2 LITs for the whole thing. AM and PM, it's 1 LIT for the AM shift and 1 LIT for the PM shift. Jeff Zavatero is the coordinator managing the LITs in that program, and his contact information is below, and it's also in the Better Impact LIT landing page. All right, moving on. All right, Gingerbread Preschool is also accepting leaders in training. Their program is Monday through Thursday, and they're only offering half-day hours, which are from 8:45 to 12:15. They'll be in the classroom with 2 other staff, 1 lead teacher and 1 assistant teacher. And essentially, they're there to support the teaching staff and to engage in the children in all their activities that they'll be spending at their camp. Let's make sure I got a question in the chat. Everyone, can I get a thumbs up on if you guys see my slides, please? Or a yes? Anybody? Okay, cool. Thank you, Shristi. All righty. I am taking, Nicole Thomas is the supervisor for Gingerbread Preschool. You can contact her if you have any questions about the program, or you could contact me, as she's also my supervisor, and I have been filling in for her at the Gingerbread Preschool when she is unavailable. So myself or Nicole Thomas will work should they have any questions about the program. Their program dates are 5 weeks, and that is June 13th, June 20th, June 27th, July 11th, and July 18th. Okay. Summer day camps. So I am the recreation coordinator responsible for summer day camps. We do the whole entire summer, and by the whole entire summer, I mean June 13th, and we end on August 5th. With the only day that we don't have program is on a Monday, 4th of July. Our programs are from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and we are hosting 3 LITs per camp, and I host 2 camps. So there's a lot of space for LITs to participate in this summer camp as compared to drama camp. For Ridge Runners, we are offering LITs to participate as high schoolers in 9th and 10th grade to support the Ridge Runners program. And they have their schedule similar to ours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 3. And they have the whole summer except for the entire week of 4th of July. So summer day camps, just no program on July 4th. Ridge Runners, no program the entire week of July 4th. So that's July 4th through July 8th. Summer day camps, it's still up in the air. It's still up in the air if we are going on field trips, and with tight budgets coming out of COVID, we may or may not have enough tickets to allow the LITs to come on those field trip days, which are on Wednesdays. That's why we have Wednesdays as to be determined. If we have space for LITs to participate in those field trips, they can participate. But should they not be, they'll have that day off. And this will be communicated well ahead of time so that the families of those LITs participating can prepare for those moments. Okay. And I will drop the link to apply right now. And I got a question in the chat. Are all CIT programs now only for 9th and 10th graders? And that answer is yes. There have been some changes in staffing, which allowed for, at the moment of the production of the spring guide, to allow for middle schoolers. But since we lost some staff, we're unable to host middle school LITs. But we are offering a Ridge Runner Plus program where they're able to hone in on their leadership skills and support the Widows program at Alviso Adobe. And then in the afternoon, they will have the opportunity to recognize. All right, and I am taking any questions for summer day camps. And then should you need to have any questions for the supervisor of the Ridge Runner program, you could contact him. His name is Zach Silva, and I'm putting his information in the chat. Yes, incoming ninth graders can do this program. So in order to participate in the LIT program this summer, you do have to be becoming a freshman or a sophomore or 9th or 10th grade in fall of 2022. So if you are an 8th grader now, you're able to participate. If you're a 7th grader now, you're unable to participate in the LIT program, but you are able to participate in the Ridge Runners Plus program. And as I mentioned before, that is assisting with the Whittles program at Alviso Adobe, and then recreating in the later half of the day. Okay, some of these questions I'm going to address as I go through the presentation. Alrighty. So the application and the interview process. This is a QR code to the application that I just sent you, or the web link that I sent you to the application. And here are the upcoming dates. What the commitment is for the leaders in training is at least 2 weeks. And I say at least 2 weeks, and I don't outline the amount of hours, because it's more about the consistency and the routine that you get from the LIT program that prepares you for a job. And so that 2 weeks could be consecutive 2 weeks, or it could be a week in the middle or a week towards the end. It just has to be at least 2 weeks. And that could be a combination. We prefer a combination of 2 weeks within the same program, though if space is limited, then they could do their LIT programs, LIT week, they could do one LIT program and then do another LIT program. So for example, they could do 1 week at the art camp and do another week at the summer day camp. Alrighty, let me get that link. All right, here's a link to apply. Many of you may have attended this Zoom link through the City of Pleasanton activity guide, and there has a link to the application as well. Okay, let me just see. We're going towards the end of the presentation. Let me see if I have addressed all the questions. The Ridge Runner program will not be requiring an application. That will be treated as a regular summer camp. So space is limited to the amount of participants that the supervisor has outlined. I'm not 100% sure of the amount of participants that camp will have, but I will say that it could be close to 24, because that's our magic number here at the City of Pleasanton for our day-long city programs. Can you get a recommendation after completing the LIT course? Yes, you can get a recommendation after completing the LIT course. When will you be notified? The upcoming date slide will have those dates listed for you. What grade do you need to be a volunteer with the drama camps? 9th and 10th grade in fall of 2022. That's the grade we are asking for LITs to be in the fall of 2022. So 9th and 10th grade coming this upcoming fall. Okay, so a part of the LIT process is also letting the LIT applicant, and even should they be accepted, the LIT themselves, really advocate for themselves. So this is a parent info meeting, and I think that we do have some potential applicants here as well. But I do want to, encourage parents to let their children take the lead. I'm very friendly and I'm very open. I just want to start that practice of that autonomy and advocating for themselves when they can. I am not whatsoever asking parents to step off. They can be a part of this process, but for these engagements in how to learn and prepare to enter the workforce, we're really asking the participants to start to lead themselves. How many spots are available? So Evan asked, how many spots are available? Overall, we could accommodate around, I would say about 40 LITs. However, space is limited in the drama camp. They're only accepting 2 LITs, one for each AM and PM shift. I could accept 24 throughout the entire summer. The Ridge Runner camp can accept 20, I believe, the entire summer, and the Gingerbread Preschool camp can accept 8. For incoming 7th graders who volunteer for widows, how do they apply? The Ridge Runner Plus camp is going to be in the activity guide, and that's going to be a registration process like they would have registered any other camp or any other city program, like an art class or like PYB. For the interview, what do they mean by formal dressing, and do they need a resume for the interview? And if so, what do they need to have on? So we're just asking them to, present themselves in the best light possible for this volunteer experience. We're not asking them to be a suit and tie. This isn't a position where, they need to dress to the nines for. We just want them, to come like they want the position. And that might be, a collared shirt. That might be, not their gym clothes if they're just coming out of PE. So we just want them to be a little bit more aware of these little nuances about entering the workforce. They do not need a resume. And so, yeah, they do not need a resume. Where can we find this recording? I will post this on the LIT City webpage, and I will give that to you right now. If you have any other questions, feel free to add them to the chat. So by Friday, this video will be up and running. I'll also post this PowerPoint as well to this web link here. Can friends request to work together? Negative. You guys could have your same choices as the same, and we try to accommodate your preferences, but friends' preferences isn't a thing that I'll be trying to accommodate this year. The library has asked that they take a pause this summer, and they're hoping to return next summer. All right. If I have not addressed your question, please keep putting it in the chat. Yes, you can get a recommendation after completing the LIT course. Should you be accepted, and should you have a favorable LIT experience. Of course, we're not going to provide a negative recommendation because that's not a recommendation, but you also want to, keep in mind that you are practicing for employment, you're engaging the community, so you want to be like your best self in this volunteer position. All right. Is it possible to call instead of email? If there is an ADA accommodation that needs to be made for this, we could definitely accommodate, not a problem at all. Though we are trying to be more communicative verbally in camp at all of our LITs, you'll be there in person, and there's just a more engaging element to talking to someone verbally rather than emailing them. So we do prefer a phone call. And if there is any hardship in a phone call, please reach out to me, and then we could discuss this as to why we are opting for an email. Great questions. Great questions. That tells me there's enthusiasm, which is much appreciated. All righty. Keep the questions coming. If you don't have any more questions, you could feel free to log off. I will be here till 7:15 in case anybody does have any questions. They can log back on and ask me. They can reach out to me. All right. How many applicants are there usually? There's usually, well, we didn't have any for the past 2 summers. In 2019, when we did have the LIT program, we had about 90 applicants, and between some applicants withdrawing themselves from the process and or from them not being accepted, we whittled it down, or it came down to the amount of LITs in the program that summer was about 65 to 70 participating LITs. So we are asking potential LITs or applicants for the LIT program to call their areas of interest and inquire about the LIT experience with the person who would be overseeing directly the LITs in that program. When do they need to call by? Preferably before the application closes, which is on March 7th. So the role for the LIT at a Ridge Runner, should they be accepted, that's assisting the staff there on the Ridge, helping set up activities, encouraging the participants in the Ridge Runners program to keep up. Those days are long. Sometimes the heat could get to you, but it's those little one-on-one moments that the LITs can have with any of the participants to keep them engaged in the program. They're also, reiterating the importance of environmentalism, the importance of all of our safety protocols that they have in the Ridge Runner program, as that program is thoroughly in the outdoors and they get their steps in as they hike for much of that program. So for any of the phone numbers to call, that is going to be on this webpage here. Is interview prep needed? So we're asking questions like scenario questions. How would you have 2 kids that both want to play with this toy, or that were arrived at this swing at the same time? How would you conflict resolve? Now, a lot of these questions, they're not make or breaking. We just want to make sure that the applicants are trying, that they want to be in this program. And so I don't believe that, interview prep is needed, though any practice is good practice. But we're asking, like, again, some of the questions that are that we're asking them to cover in the description, but also, like, what are some of your strengths and what are some of your weaknesses? Oh, what do you expect to get out of the program? Why are you interested in the program? It's not an interview where we're trying to scare any of the applicants away. It's not an interview where we're trying to, really take them through the ringer for their future employment. It's just practice for these opportunities in their future when they do join the workforce. All right, good questions. I want to thank everybody for showing up. I appreciate the parents for asking questions. I appreciate the potential applicants for joining us today. I appreciate the opportunity to be in front of you. I'm always trying to engage the Pleasanton community more, practice on my public speaking skills, make myself, more acquainted with this community to start building stronger relationships. So again, thank you for attending. Thank you for your interest in the LIT program. My contact information is in the chat. My email is here again. My phone number is on the application website. I am here to help the LITs. I am here to help the parents determine if this program is right for their child. I'm here to help. All right. Keep the questions coming. I will keep it up on the upcoming dates page because I think there's plenty of information here. But I am here for questions until 7:15 as everyone starts to fall off or log off. Again, thank you for coming. I'm looking forward to bringing this LIT program back. It has been off for 2 years. Yeah. You're welcome, Christine. Thank you for coming. You're welcome, Shristi. Thank you for joining us. You too, Jacqueline. Thank you. Susanna, it's just you and I in here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. You could speak directly to me. Oh, never mind. Hi, Needy. My name is Julian. The bulk of the presentation has ended, but I am here till 7:15 to help answer any of your questions. I'll be uploading this video by Friday, along with the PowerPoint, should you need it. Did you have any questions? Oh.